Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam Allman.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
And today we'll be playing the first part of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door for the Nintendo GameCube. But before we get to all of that, how was everyone's week?
So, I had never seen a Bruce Lee film before. And so I watched the first film he starred in. He had been in a ton. He was acting since he was a kid, but the first film that he had a starring role in, I watched. The Big Boss, 1971. And it ruled.
Yay!
It was great. And just watching Bruce Lee do martial arts made me want to live a better, more intentional life.
Nice.
If that makes sense.
That's really cool.
It felt life-changing. I don't know if it was life-changing because not enough time has passed for my life to change, but it felt life-changing.
That's wonderful. I've never seen a Bruce Lee film either.
I have not as well.
Y'all should watch The Big Boss, 1971.
I've watched a couple old Jackie Chan movies, and I'd like to watch more because, goddamn, that man's a master of physical comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe instead of watching the Chris Pratt Mario movie at the end of the season, we can just watch Big Boss.
Big Boss.
The Big Boss. Recently for me, the things that stand out, I did my taxes, which is important, and for the first time in I think 5 years or something like that, I'm actually getting a refund, which
Nice.
I badly need. Yeah, that was good. And then me and my sister, we go through and we'll watch and read things together. And for a while, a thing on our plate to start was the second season of Doom Patrol, because we watched and enjoyed the first season. But I kept putting it off because I just kept being like, yeah, because it's like, I remember enjoying it, but I also just, as someone who's read the Grant Morrison run that the series is largely based on, there's a lot of adaptational notes where I feel like, I'm not saying don't ever change anything. Changing things is important for adaptations, but I just don't think they changed it well. But we finally started watching it, and I was just immediately like, what was wrong with me? This is incredible. Like, just the cast of that series is so fantastic. And he's the one who gets talked about the most, but Brendan Fraser as Robot Man is truly a complete and utter, like, it's the best casting, and he does such a great job in the part.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the actors for Rita Farr and for Larry are both very, very good. It's just it's a good show. It's a good show that's actually saying something. Like, it's not just like, oh, this is a fun time. It's like, oh no, you're using this material to do something like thoughtful and meaningful. I'm glad, because that's what the Grant Morrison run is. Is it perfect? No. It's a Grant Morrison comic. It's a Grant Morrison comic. It has a lot of meaningful, fascinating stuff, and it also has parts where you go, yo, Grant, can we talk? I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah, I've been listening to 52 Pickup, Alex Jaffe and Keita Jackson's comic book podcast from Aftermath, and they say about Grant Morrison, they say that they are in love with all of the weird parts of DC Comics, and they make sure that all of that matters. Unfortunately, that includes the really bad racist parts too.
Yes, it does. The weird racist stuff, and then just also parts where you're like, I don't know if this is bad. I'm just like, what was this, man? Mm-hmm. Or NB? What was this? Tell me. Because I don't know. But they did give us Danny the Street, and for that we have to be eternally thankful. Anyway, Sam, what have you been up to?
So this last week was my birthday. That's why we didn't put any episodes up. Mostly not because I wanted off for my birthday, but because I was doing a big old gigantic Pathfinder night a week ago today, and I had 7 PCs, 6 friends plus Scarlet, and we
That's a
had
lot.
I had my TV flat on the table, and thanks to Matt from Book Club no Kiseki, my best friend, he painted minis, and we made some like sets and stuff to set out on top of it to make a like a 3D thing going on, and it was so much fucking work, and I never want to do it again. But also, it was awesome, and I can't wait to do it again.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. The main reason why this sucked so bad was this was also the first time that we had migrated virtual tabletops, and it was also our first time playing since the Pathfinder remaster. So I had to import everybody's character while also like low key re-rolling them to make all of the stuff still work. And instead of just like designing the thing, I had so much work to do before I could even start designing the thing. So it was a lot, but it was awesome. And yeah, I'm still riding high off of that. I also have been working on another project that is 100% copyright infringement. So I cannot go into details about what it is, but I'm super excited about it, and I've done a lot of cool work on that this week too.
I realized I did have another thing. Specifically last night, I've started going through classic Doctor Who again.
Mhm.
And I went through a old serial called The Stones of Blood, which is not like notably great, especially for the season it's in, the Key of Time saga, but it does have some implied lesbians, which I'm always a fan of. It was also just a fun romp, but also just the monsters are literally like blocks of Stonehenge that move around and glow and make honestly really cool growly sounds. Like the monster sound is really genuinely good, but just the visual of like a window and then one of the blocks, like a foam block looking like a block of Stonehenge moving across it, menacingly coming for you. It's so funny and honestly a little terrifying. It reminds me a lot of like I was really deep in the Slender Man stuff in high school, late high school, early college, and it just reminds me of that, like that feeling of like, oh wow, you're moving around what's like some kind of mannequin or foam block, and it's kind of unsettling, but it's mostly just silly.
Mhm. My favorite
So Stone's
my
Blood
favorite
is
thing
good.
about classic Doctor Who is it's as if they watched that one episode of Star Trek where they tried to say that a Pomeranian was an alien, and they're like, "This is the peak cinema. We have to do this nonstop for 50 years."
Yes, exactly, and I love them for that. They
Yeah,
were correct.
absolutely. But yeah, speaking of things that are correct, let's talk about the best Paper Mario game real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so a super tiny bit of history on this game. After the success of Paper Mario on the N64, Intelligent Systems began work on making a sequel. However, when they brought the like the pitch deck to Miyamoto, Miyamoto was like, there isn't anything new here. They had upped the paperness of everything with like the crumbled paper transitions and folding into an airplane and those sorts of things. But Miyamoto was like, the first game was already Paper Mario. Y'all already did paper stuff then. This is just like an enhancement of the old one. It's not anything innovative. So back to the drawing board. Let me know what else you can come up with. And they were like, yes, this is the same sort of shit. However, the GameCube is like 900 times better than the N64. So here's a quick prototype we mocked up where there are 1,000 characters on screen because 1,000 polygons is nothing to the GameCube. And when Miyamoto saw it, he's like, okay, yeah, This one is a lot more papery, has a lot more stuff going on. Y'all can go off and do it. And so I gave him the green light.
Nintendo liked putting a lot of things on screen on the GameCube, and I don't
Within
blame them.
5 minutes. Within 5 minutes of starting the game.
Yeah.
And you have the entire Pikmin series, which is, themed around having 100 guys.
Yeah. One thing I love, unrelated, is, well, kind of related. So Mario 128 was them
I
showing
was literally
off.
about to bring up Mario 128.
Look, we can have a bunch of little guys on the screen, and everybody was like, "Oh man, when are we getting Mario 128? Because Mario Sunshine wasn't any good." And everyone's like, "Mario 128 became Pikmin," and it's kind of obvious, but okay. It's just
Yeah, no. The Mario fandom in those days of the internet.
Yeah. But weirdly, the interview that I was summarizing just now with NGC Magazine is the literal only interview or press or anything I could find about the 1,000-Year Door before it came out. I'm sure there was something else, but I just couldn't find anything. The IGN coverage, like, shouts to Game Sages being a 1997 website, because basically from N64 on, we can see like the live updates of when things came out. But they just were like, "Oh hey, at Gamescom, in one of the slideshows that they were showing, they showed off that we're getting a Paper Mario 2, and that was in German." So the German version of Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door was the first one showed off, and like not a whole lot else about it. I'm sure there was like a lot of like magazine ads and stuff, because it sold really well for the time. It was like 1.2 million just in the US or something. So it was like pretty good, but yeah, I couldn't really find anything else. So I'm sure there's other cool stuff, but I even was like looking in the Paper Mario subreddit, where I first saw that this interview existed, and people in the comments were like, "Is this really the only interview that they ever did that we could ever find?" So I think it's weird. I think this is at the height of Nintendo just keeps their door closed and then releases masterpieces. So yeah, weird. But it then came out and was awesome. And so now we're going to talk about the game.
The game starts with a storybook, much like the last game did. Quote, "Today I'm going to tell you the story of the 1,000-Year Door. An awfully long time ago, in a strange and far-off land, a big, bustling town thrived. It was a town where all people lived very happy lives, and it was said that the town was very prosperous. But one day tragedy befell this blessed place. A great cataclysm struck the town and its people. Darkness filled the skies, and the earth roared and shook. It was as if the very world had come to a violent end. And in but a single night the town sank into the depths of the earth. Many moons rose and set. Stories of the town passed into the pages of fairy tales, and when the town's site no longer held relics of its past, people gathered at that spot and built a new town. But word soon spread among the people who moved in that an ancient city lay deep underground, and that a magnificent treasure rested there. Indeed, this is the tale of the fabled treasure of Rogueport. Yes, this is where it begins, in the sea town of Rogueport. The tale of the quest for the legendary treasure and the 1,000-Year Door starts here." Unquote. We now see Princess Peach in the town square of Rogueport, a shitty place where there's a fucking gallows in a Mario game. She's escaped Toadsworth to go exploring on her own while on holiday. A mysterious street vendor calls her over to look at their wares. Peach sees an interesting box and asks what's inside it. The vendor says it's said to contain a map leading to the legendary treasure, but it's magically sealed and will only open for one with a pure and noble heart. The vendor says if the box opens for Peach, she can have whatever's inside. Peach takes the box, and it opens with a flash of light. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door!
The title was inside.
A Paracupa drops off a letter at the Mario Brothers house. Luigi retrieves it and reads it to Mario. Quote, "Hello there, Mario. I am now on holiday, traveling in the Mushroom Kingdom. In my travels, I came into possession of a mystical map. A treasure map, actually. It was inside a box I got from an old merchant in a town called Rogueport. But since it would be too difficult for me to try to go find treasure all by myself, I thought you could help me hunt for it. You will, of course, won't you? I've included the map with this letter, so please bring it with you when you come. I'll meet you at Rogueport. That means you must come. Peach." Unquote. Indeed, there's an old map with the letter. It doesn't really show the location of any treasure, but don't worry about that. It's time for Mario to set sail for Rogueport.
And leave Luigi behind.
Of course. Prologue, A Rogue's Welcome. The ship stops at the dock in Rogueport. Its captain asks Mario if he's sure he wants to disembark in such a place. Of course he does. Princess Peach is waiting for him. Mario steps onto the dock and immediately sees a young Goomba being harassed by some weird-looking dudes, led by a larger weird-looking dude named Lord Crump. They're grilling her for information on the crystal stars, but she's not having it. Mario finds himself caught up in the scene and fights off Lord Crump. In this game, we can do action commands from the first battle, so that's nice.
It is. Also, I want to say, just because you called her a young Goomba, she, compared to the child Goomba who was in our party last time, she is a grad student at university.
That's true.
Like, she's young to us, but...
After getting his ass kicked, Lord Crump calls in like 100 fucking minions to attack, because this is the power of the Nintendo GameCube, but Mario and the Goomba easily sneak away. The Goomba introduces herself as Goombella, a student at the University of Goom. Mario introduces himself as Mario, who's famous for being Mario. They realize they're both looking for the legendary treasure. Mario shows Goombella the map, then Toadsworth walks up and asks Mario what on earth he's doing here in Rogueport. Mario explains that Peach sent for him, and Toadsworth reveals that he has no idea where she is. And he's kind of chill about this. He's just like, yeah, I don't know, she's gone. I was kind of hoping you knew where she is, but, sucks. Toadsworth tasks Mario with finding the princess and goes off to be useless. Goombella hypothesizes that Peach went to look for the treasure herself, and that if they look for the treasure, they might find her. Goombella says first they should find the professor she came to Rogueport to see, as he can point them in the right direction.
And during this conversation, in the background, there's a gang fight going on to really sell what kind of town you've entered.
Yes, I love it. And I also love that it involves Piantas from Super Mario Sunshine that are like wearing like dark glasses and look like mobsters.
There's a Pianta Mafia!
I love it. Now, my brain just imagined Oscar 1991, but with Mario monsters playing all the characters. Pianta Sylvester Stallone.
No, Sylvester Stallone is Italian. He would be Mario. Everyone else would be Piantas.
Oh, I see. Anyway, Mario and Goombella head to the east side of town, and Mario is promptly pickpocketed for half his coins. You can go find the thief and get them back, though. Anyway, Mario and Goombella find Professor Frankly. Goombella explains that they're looking for the legendary treasure, and Frankly is happy to help. He says the different sources say different things about the treasure, but they all agree that you need the crystal stars to find it. If you hold a magical map in front of the 1,000-Year Door, which is supposedly beneath this very town, the way to the stars will be revealed. And what do you know? We have the map. Frankly is ready to go right away. He leads Mario and Goombella to a pipe which will take them to the Undercity streets. Down underground, Goombella is immediately catcalled by some bad Goombas. Mario and Goombella beat up the bad Goombas.
I love that it's not like just like, oh, they're evil. It's like they're just jerks who catcall her.
Yep.
They're just a bunch of losers.
I mean, in the first game, it was like, oh, these are bad Koopas who work for Bowser, but we can't just say they work for Bowser in this game because Bowser hasn't even been introduced yet, so have to give us a reason to beat them up. As Mario and friends head through the dungeon, they come across a large black treasure chest. A voice calls from within, saying that only the great hero of legend can hear it, and long ago an evil spirit cast a curse upon it, locking it in this box, and it's been waiting for the hero all this time. Frankly, who can hear the box, along with Goombella, can also hear the box, even though only Mario is supposedly the great hero. Anyway, Frankly accidentally mentions that they're looking for the crystal stars, and the box says they'll definitely need its help. So
Which
Mario
is true.
Yes. So Mario finds the key for the chest and opens it, and an evil spirit appears. It says it's suffered long in that box, and it promises to share that suffering. It hits Mario with a terrible curse. Mario is now doomed to be able to turn into a paper airplane if he presses the Y button on special airplane panels.
This is the best way to get a new traversal thing ever.
I love it, and the music that plays during this is so intense. There is a positive side effect to this terrible curse, however. Mario can now fly over a gap which leads straight to the 1,000-year door. Mario stands on a platform in front of the door, and the map shines. A castle appears on the map, along with the image of a crystal star. Also, Mario gets a power. I'd love to get a power.
Me too!
I wish it happened more often. Mario and friends return to Frankly's house to study the map. Frankly says the first crystal star can be found in Petal Meadows, a vast meadow far to the east. He's had suspicions about Petal Meadows for a while, apparently. There's, it's mentioned in some texts about the crystal stars and stuff. Frankly says there's probably a pipe under the city which will lead them there. He also asks Mario how he got the map, and then it's like, oh, you got it from Princess Peach? I met her. She came to me asking about the treasure the other day. I told her about the crystal stars and that I suspected Petal Meadows might be the place to look, so maybe she went off there on her own. Time to head to Petal Meadows. Actually, first, Frankly gives us a badge and teaches us how to use badges, but then it's time to head to Petal Meadows. Will we find Princess Peach there? Probably not. Or maybe we do. I don't remember, but I think we probably don't.
We likely do not. But yeah, let's listen to some Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door music, and then we'll talk about all the beautiful, wonderful, fantastic things that were in this opening chapter. So yeah, this game rules.
It's so good. Nothing against the original Paper Mario. I love it. It's so deep and dear to my heart. But going from playing that to playing 1,000-Year Door was just this immediate endorphin rush of oh yeah, this is the experience I'm getting into. Holy shit. It's hard to describe, but just something about the visuals, the music, it feels like just everything just got one or two steps better.
Mm-hmm.
The visuals are insane compared to the N64 game.
They are.
They're 60 frames a second, which alone makes it so much better than the first game. It is.
And higher resolution, less blurry, and the characters are made out of multiple parts, and it's really impressive looking.
like the soundtrack, like the when you hold up the map in front of the door and it does that whole bit, like the soundscape of it just it makes you feel like something incredible is happening. Uh, Also, they just do a very good job throwing you into Rogueport and really making it clear to you, like, oh yeah, this is not the Mushroom Kingdom. This is not your usual Mario fun time.
This is not Toadstown.
This is not Toadstown. Like, in addition to the noose and the fight happening in the background, there's the fact that when you enter the area for President Franklin's place, you get robbed.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go find the guy who robbed you and get your money back. But you don't have to. There's no reason. Like, it's just you if you want your money back. I did something funny where I decided to spend all of my money knowing that was going to happen.
Mhm.
And so I spent all of my money on items and then went in there and he ran by me and nothing happened. And so when I went to go talk to him, he was just like, hey man, you should take better care of yourself. Like, you need some walking around money. I tried pickpocketing you and there was nothing there.
It's wonderful. Yeah, so there's a lot of small things about this game so far already that are fantastic and make me super excited. Like, your partner has HP now,
Yes.
which is
yes.
good and important. And when they go first, they then can stand in the front. So if you're almost dead, you can put your meat shield in front of you to soak up some more damage. And the a lot more things have action commands, which is important when we learn about the star power system next week. But and so it just, like, everything about it just has a little bit more everywhere, and it's dope, and I really like it. And like, even the special power that we get, it's just refresh, but instead of just giving us the HP, you have to, like,
It's a little mini game.
yeah, you have a little mini game. You have to throw things to knock the things you want out of the air, and
avoid the poison mushrooms,
which I never do, but I can just spam it fast enough that I get enough anyways.
There's all of that. There's this addition of the super guard, which I never used as a kid and I'm trying to use now, where it's like, oh, instead of guarding with an A button, you can guard with the B button. The timing is so much more precise. I don't know exactly like the frame difference, but you have to be exact with it. But if you do it correctly, you also you take less damage than just guarding, and you do 1 damage to whoever attacked you.
That's really cool.
I
suck.
am never going to try that because I can't do it.
Yeah, I can barely even get a double jump. 60 frames. 60 frames is too many frames, man.
Yeah, like I mean, it is definitely hard. I bought a bunch of mushrooms though, so I can afford to take hits when I get it wrong. Also, there's the fact that your partners not only have health, but they also can use items on their turn.
Without having to take up a badge point, which you had to last game.
So now you can just, for example, if you, I don't know, bought a bunch of mushrooms and fire flowers, you could go to the optional mini-boss Gus, who is blocking off a whole section of Rogueport, and you could beat him even though you really shouldn't be able to, just by spamming fire flowers at him from both partner and you. Which is a thing I did.
It would feel so cool if there was something awesome on the other side of him, but yeah, there's nothing there.
There's a couple characters you can talk to, but yeah, the side quest office isn't open yet. Gosh, it's just like, even we only get parts of Rogueport to start with, but it's still just such a fun lived-in city with a lot of little secrets.
Yeah, we can only go to the east side of Rogueport, because if we try to go to the west side, a toad is like, hey, I lost my contact lens, don't move, I'm looking for it. And then eventually you have to move because you can't just stay there indefinitely. She'll never find it. You step on the contact lens, and she gets so mad that she decides to get revenge by blocking the way to the west part of town.
And she will only let you go by if you buy her a new contact lens, which you can go into the store and talk to the shopkeeper and go like, hey, can you special order that for me? And he's like, yeah, but it'll take a while to get here.
Wonderful.
It's such a fun roadblock.
It's one of my favorite not real roadblocks in games.
And there's also, we haven't gotten to where the audience stuff really happens very much. But there's the audience mechanic added to the battles. There's also the fact that the fights are on a stage, and so if you say use your hammer, a bit of backdrop can fall and damage people, or a lighting fixture from above will a spotlight will fall and hit, and that can not only do damage, but it will also sometimes electrify whoever it hit. So now it's difficult to damage them because you'll hurt yourself doing so. And then there's also stylish moves, which the game doesn't explain unless you go find a specific person in the underground later to talk to about it. But there are special secret action commands to every move in the game that if you do those extra ones, it is stylish and the audience likes it. And they give you more, they refill your star power faster.
Jesus Christ.
It's amazing. Like, playing through Paper Mario 64, I kept trying to do action commands because they're the stylish ones because they're ingrained in me. And I'm like, I know them by heart, and so I kept trying them and realizing nothing was going to happen. And now I'm like, oh wait, I can do them now. Yay. Tip, one of the easiest ones is for Goombella's Tattle. If you do Tattle and then you immediately hit A after you successfully, because they made Tattle also an action command.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
It is, but I love it. If you hit A second time, like one beat after where you're supposed to do it, it's a stylish, and she like does a wink at the audience.
Nice.
Goombella's also, we don't get a lot of her so far, but I just adore Goombella as a character. She has so much she has more personality to her already than I think almost any partner did in the first game. She's a college student. She is kind of a bitch and a little judgmental towards people. She has kind of a Valley Girl thing going on with how she talks. I don't know. I just adore her.
I love her. She's great.
Yeah. So, I'm a weirdo freak, right? That's
Yeah, you
been
are
well established at this point. But I don't like to play games from Nintendo's weird phase on anything but accurate controllers. So I was using my Retrobit 64 for original Paper Mario, but the only GameCube controller I have is a GameCube Pro Classic controller for the Wii, and everyone says it should just work in Dolphin, and it doesn't, and it was making me super upset. But looking it up, the only C-stick movement in the game whatsoever is to scroll up and down in the menu. So I am using my Retrobit again because it has a GameCube analog stick on it, and then I map A and B are in the right spot, and then Y, whichever one's on the left, is the C left, and then the other one is C down, and then C up and C stick up and C stick down are C up and C right, and then everything else is where you would think, and it rules, and it feels exactly right, and I didn't have to buy a GameCube controller, because tried and played on the Switch Pro controller earlier in the day. The A button's in the wrong spot.
Oh no! GameCube.
Like it's in the correct spot. It's on the A button, but that's not how the GameCube controller was. The GameCube controller, A was on the bottom, B was on the left, and yeah, I had to do something. So I would have finished playing everything for today in about 30 minutes, but I spent about 4 hours trying to get my GameCube controller to work. And
what is wrong with you?
A lot of things.
I used I'm playing the game with I'm looking on the back, is apparently officially called the Wired Fight Pad Pro. It's just the GameCube controller for the Switch.
Yeah. I wanted
with
one
the
of those.
Obscenely long cord.
I wanted one of those, but they don't make them anymore unless you like get them I think you could still get them on Amazon, but they only have like the deluxe ones on Amazon that are like $45, and
Mm.
I didn't want to do $45 for
This
this
was like
game.
a birthday present like 4 or 5 years ago, something
Mm.
like that.
Yeah, right when Smash Ultimate came out, I think they were like 15, $20 for the corded
Yeah.
version at Walmart, and I should have grabbed one then, but I did not.
Hindsight is 2020.
Hmm. I also got the HD textures for this game. The community did a fantastic job on all of them. They're really, really nice. I was going to also do the widescreen hack, but the widescreen hack takes off the letterboxing, which is part of it, and I didn't like that. So I'm playing 4:3, but like at 4K, and it rules. It looks very, very good. This game already looked very, very good, but now I have like pristine text and stuff, and it's dope. Normally, I do things like this because it's the HD remake that Nintendo won't give me, but they're giving me an HD remake of this game. I just wanted it anyways.
I wonder how that HD remake will turn out.
Me too. I am probably going to get it and play it when it comes
I
out, despite it coming out while we're still recording this season.
I mean, I'm
think we're
going to.
probably going to finish this season like the week it comes out.
Yeah.
If we don't miss anything.
I mean, yeah, I'm probably going to want to get it immediately. Hopefully, I'll have money for it. Should also. I still haven't played Super Mario Wonder, and I really want to. I'm a fucking Mario platforming maniac. God damn it!
Wonder's really good.
I keep hearing that. It's torture. Hey, your beloved franchise that you've been playing since you were a baby has just come out with incredible new entry that everyone is raving about, but you can't afford it. Sorry.
Just do Gamefly fraud and
That is an
keep
answer.
keep using different emails to sign up for new accounts to get a free month.
I know this trick. I did it when I was like 13.
Yeah, I when the PS5 came out, I was like, these games are awesome, but they're really expensive. So I'm going to get a month and then plow through Last of Us Part 2 and Ratchet and Clank into the Nexus, and I think Miles Morales, and I think something else. I had 1 month to beat like as many games as possible, and
Amazing.
it was
Yeah,
fantastic.
there was when I was like 13, there was a music site. I wanted to download music for free and not pay money because I've been a media pirate my entire life.
Mm.
And there was a website that specifically was like, "Oh, for the free trial, you can download like 5 songs." But to make an account, there wasn't they didn't check your email back then. There was no authentication. And so I just made up email after email that didn't exist to get as many songs as I wanted.
Love that.
Anything else to talk about with the prologue of Thousand Year Door?
This game just has such a different personality from the
It
first
does.
game.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird and wild.
Mm-hmm.
Paper Mario 64 has like the Mario wholesomeness to it is almost what
Mm-hmm.
it's fun and it's a great time, but it's very like, oh, you made a Mario RPG. And Thousand Year Door is very like, okay, but what if we went fucking left as hard as we could?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that gives it such a fun flavor.
So this game is good enough that I texted the group chat earlier. I was like, "Are all we covering today is the prologue?" And y'all were like, "Yes." So I played over half of chapter 1. I just was like, "Well, I'm not going to listen. I'm not done playing yet." So, yeah, can't wait to play more. Fun fact. I was looking through the uh Nintendo Power Player's Guide for Mario, Paper Mario, while we were going through it, and they don't mention stylish things at all. I don't think they figured it out.
It's incredible. I
It's
love that.
it's literally not mentioned at all.
Actually, I do have one more thing, just
Mhm.
because this was my one of my auto RPGs, the one that did not win the poll.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't get a GameCube until like 3-ish years after the GameCube came out. Like after this
Mhm.
game had come out, I still didn't have a GameCube, and so I would go to GameStop, like we did like a mall trip or something, and they had like a for the release of this, they had a cardboard cutout stand thing advertising the game, and I saw like some of the new characters on it, and I was just blown away, and I was just so upset that I had no way to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
And so it made when I did get a GameCube and I did get the game, which my very first copy was once it was they did the thing back then of
Greatest hits release.
the greatest hit, like
Player's choice,
the
I think they
player's
call
choice.
them.
That's it. The player's choice release, where it was $20 re-release. Which, wow, that was a really great thing. I wish Nintendo did that again. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
No,
Um,
10-year-old games are still $60. That's how Nintendo does it.
but yeah, this game just means a lot. Like, and I had that anticipation and that like build up, and then I got to play it, and it was incredible.
I love the GameCube.
I do too.
Me
The GameCube
too.
was a really fun console.
Yeah, earlier today I was going through to put uh get this game off of my file server and put it on my Steam Deck, and I was like looking at all the GameCube games I had lined up. I'm like, this console freaking ruled. And I'm like, oh, Dolphin can also play Wii games. Let me go over to the Wii and get those as well. And so I moved over The Last Story.
Oh, I still haven't played that. That's like on my list of things to play at some point.
And that was the only Wii game I moved over today, was The Last Story.
Really? Oh, there's so many like the greatest hits compilation can make of Wii games. I mean, just immediately what comes to mind is just the Wii Punch Out, which I've sunk so many hours into that.
Yeah, but I will say I don't have a sensor bar, so that does
Oh, that does
lim-
make it difficult.
limit the amount of ones I have. But I did move over Mario Galaxy and
Mm,
New Super Mario Brothers Wii and Super Paper Mario and stuff like that. But like the
yeah.
the I did not have a plethora of things to choose from. I had like 6 or 7 good ones,
Ah,
and that was
gotcha.
it.
With the Wii, did y'all ever use candles instead of a sensor bar?
Absolutely.
No,
I was a
I
poor
did
college
not.
student.
It was I had a sensor bar, but it was fun to do.
I didn't know that was a thing. I'm learning something, and I'm kind of. That sounds like witchcraft.
Yeah, the
So
sensor bar doesn't take in data. It just puts out some infrared signals at just the right distance apart from each other. So if you put candles at that distance apart from each other, the Wii remote picks it up and can use that to calibrate the
That's
movement.
amazing.
I
Uh,
uh when we first moved here to Wisconsin, I lost my sensor bar in the move, and I I wanted to play Metroid Prime trilogy. And so what I did was I used the sensor bar that's built into the Wii U gamepad, and I had that right in front of my TV. So I was aiming off of that to be at my sensor bar, which is fantastic. But yeah, I think that's
that sounds
everything
like it's
for
it.
today. Yeah, short episode, but it's a short chunk. So yeah. Um, that will do it for the week. If you like what you heard, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations help us cover the cost of running the show and improving it day after day. If you set up a recurring monthly donation, you also get some additional benefits. If you donate $1 or more a month, you get access to our bonus feed, where this week we attempted to record a Book Club no Kaseki episode, but the Kaseki curse made Craig break without telling us, like 10-15 minutes into it, and it had broken like at minute like 5, and it pissed all of us off, and it was already late, so we said fuck it, and we will re-record that, but it'll be like next week. So Next week, there will be a new Book Club no Kaseki episode. You also get access to our polls to decide what game we play next on the main feed. The people chose both Paper Mario 1 and Paper Mario 2 as our best of the rest of the rest. So shout outs to all of y'all for helping us out with that one. And then if you want to up your donation to $5 or more a month, we'll also shout out your name at the end of every episode, just like this. Shouts to Cerebral Wind, It's Clear Time, Frost Terror, Dragon Slayer 19, Floris, Kildron, Freddy Rodriguez, Aaron524, and JFro Prime. And then finally, if you love us so much and you want to donate $20 or more a month, you can also get me to say a sentence of your choosing, either to plug something or just to make me say certain words in a certain order. Shoutouts to El Tantavi, who wants you to check out aftermath.site, a worker-owned, reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. Shoutouts to Vimke, who wants you to play Legend of Legaia, and I completely forgot that I'm completely out of things to say about Legend of Legaia. So, Vimke, you should free me from this hell. pick another game to shill.
I have something to say about Legend of Legaia.
Go for it.
It was released on October 29th, 1998.
Hell yeah. And then shoutouts to Carr, who's a dentist, so he isn't plugging a website, but rather your own mouth. He says to brush your teeth twice a day, most importantly, the time before you go to bed. For RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye.